All right, so you guys send us Fidel Cashflow's White, Black, or Latin Closer.
Yeah.
And I got to say, this beat is fire.
Yeah.
But today's deep dive isn't about just like dissecting the lyrics. You know, we're going deeper. We're going to experience the artistry of Fidel's flow.
Yeah, you're right. It's about more than just the words. You know, flow in hip hop is an art form. It's the rhythm, the cadence, the confidence in the delivery.
Yeah.
It's about how Fidel makes you feel something.
And he definitely has that effect. Like, take the line, once you go black, you never go back.
Right.
Playful, catchy, and the way he delivers it just oozes this cool confidence. Don't you think?
Absolutely. And notice how he repeats those words 3 times in a row.
Oh, yeah.
Classic hip-hop technique, instantly memorable. Biggie Smalls was a master of that.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Biggie because I get a bit of Biggie vibe from Fidel, too.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that effortless swagger, that playful use of language.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but back to the song. When he says, you a shining star, my goodness.
Fuzz.
That smooth, deep voice, the way he draws out the words just a little.
I can hear it.
It's like he's whispering right to me, you know, creating this intimate vibe, even though it's a hype track.
Right.
And then it transitions into closer in the way he rides that beat.
Oh, yeah.
It's hypnotic.
It's like they're dancing together perfectly in sync. You can tell he knows exactly when to speed up, when to slow down, when to emphasize a certain word or phrase for maximum impact.
And speaking of impact, we have to talk about the music video.
Yes.
Because the visuals, they take this whole Fidel Cashflow persona to a whole other level.
It does.
The luxurious setting his attire, those confident interactions with the women in the video.
It's aspirational, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
He's crafting this lifestyle, and it draws you in. Remember the line, strawberry ass and you shine like fluorescent? The music video brings those lyrics to life.
Exactly. It's like he's saying, this is the life I've built, and you can have it too.
He makes you feel like anything is possible.
In that voice. It's like melted chocolate.
Okay, I have to ask, what is it about his voice that you find so appealing?
It's hard to put my finger on it. It's deep, yes, but there's this slight rasp to it, especially when he hits certain words. And the way he delivers those lines with such confidence and swagger.
Right.
It's intoxicating.
I see what you mean. It's interesting you say swagger because that reminds me of another artist that he shares similarities with, Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
That effortless queel, the way he owns every word.
And that laid-back confidence. He doesn't need to shout to be heard, you know. He commands your attention without even trying.
Right.
Kind of like Drake, too. That quiet confidence, that sense of self-assuredness. But back to what you were saying about his control and the way he rides the beat.
Well, he uses his voice like an instrument. It's not just about the words themselves. It's about how he inflects them, stretches them, bends them to his will. The way he elongates certain syllables, pauses for effect, adds those little vocal flourishes.
Those little breaths, those almost whispers. I mean, come on.
Right.
It's like he's letting you in on a secret.
And you're eating it up. But you're right. It's those subtle details that elevate his delivery from good to captivating.
It's like he's talking directly to you. Even though there are probably a million other people listening to the song, he makes you feel seen, you know.
He's a master at creating intimacy. It's no wonder you're so drawn to his style. But there's another aspect to his flow that we haven't touched on yet, his storytelling ability.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
When he raps about black chick with some black dudes sipping honey, black just got off a black cruise.
Right.
I mean, you can practically taste the luxury, feel the sunshine.
Yeah.
That's vivid storytelling.
It pulls you into his world, makes you want to experience it firsthand. Reminds me of early Eminem, the way he could paint these incredibly vivid pictures with his words.
Yes, that cinematic quality, the way he creates a whole mood and atmosphere with his lyrics.
Yes.
It's like watching a movie in your head.
Yeah.
But it's not just the lyrics, it's the way he delivers them.
Right.
Speaking of delivery, did you notice the way he transitions between rapid fire verses and that smooth, almost seductive flow in Closer? It's like he's switching gears, taking you on a journey.
He's incredibly versatile. He can go from hard-hitting rhymes to smooth melodic flows seamlessly. It keeps you on your toes, keeps you guessing what's coming next.
It's like a roller coaster ride for your ears.
I like that analogy. He keeps you engaged, constantly anticipating the next twist or turn.
But let's talk about his authenticity for a moment. Because in a world of curated personas and perfectly polished images, There's something so refreshing about Fidel's raw talent and genuine passion, don't you think?
Absolutely. He's not trying to be anyone else. He's not chasing trends. He's just Fidel Cashflow, and he owns it. You can hear it in his voice. You can see it in his presence. He believes in himself and his music, and that translates to his listeners.
Like he's saying, this is me, take it or leave it. And you know what? I'll take it. I'll take 2, please.
I hear you. There's an honesty to his music that's hard to find these days.
Right.
He's not afraid to be himself, and that's incredibly powerful.
And that might be why he resonates so deeply with listeners. In a world of smoke and mirrors, authenticity shines through.
It's magnetic.
So we've talked about his flow, his delivery, his charisma, his storytelling ability. It's clear Fidel Cashflow has that it factor. But what would you say is the one thing that sets him apart from other artists in the game right now? It's that authenticity, that rawness that makes him so compelling. He's not afraid to be vulnerable, to let his guard down and connect with his audience on a human level.
You hit the nail on the head. And that brings us back to this idea of flow being more than just words on a page. It's about embodying the music, the message, the feeling.
It's about that intangible it factor that draws you in and leaves you wanting more.
Mm-hmm.
And Fidel Cashflow definitely has that it factor in spades.
Well said. So getting back to your question about what sets him apart, I think it's his ability to seamlessly blend the old school with the new school.
That's interesting. Tell me more about that.
Well, you hear those classic hip-hop elements in his music, the lyrical complexity, the storytelling, the braggadocio, but there's a modern edge to it, too. The production is fresh, the sound is current, and his flow is all his own.
You know, that's a really good point. He's got that familiar vibe that would appeal to fans of, say, a Jay-Z or a Nas. But he's also pushing boundaries, experimenting with his sound.
Exactly, like he's bridging a gap between generations of hip-hop. He's reviving a classic sound for a new generation. It's like he's saying, I respect the greats who came before me, but I'm here to carve my own path.
And that confidence, that self-awareness, is what makes him so captivating. He doesn't need to follow trends, because he is the trend.
It's inspiring, isn't it? He makes you want to step into your own power, to embrace your individuality.
Absolutely. He's like a walking, talking reminder to just be yourself no matter what anyone else thinks. And that brings us to another interesting aspect of his artistry, his audience. Who do you think Fidel Cashflow's music resonates with the most?
That's a great question. You know, I think his music has a broad appeal. On one hand, you have the old school hip-hop heads who appreciate his lyrical prowess and his respect for the foundations of the genre.
Right. The people who grew up on Biggie, Tupac, Wu-Tang Clan, they're going to hear those influences in his music.
Exactly. But then you have a younger generation discovering him, drawn to his fresh sound, his confidence, and his authenticity. I think he's bridging a gap between generations, creating music that speaks to a wide range of listeners.
He's really tapping into something universal, isn't he? That desire to feel confident, to own your story, to embrace who you are.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the message, it's about the feeling. His music makes you feel good. You put on a Fidel Cashflow track when you want to feel empowered, when you want to channel your inner boss, when you want to escape into a world of luxury and confidence.
It's music for those main character moments in your life.
Yeah.
Like you're walking down the street, headphones on, and suddenly you feel invincible.
Exactly. You're the star of your own music video.
Okay, but speaking of feeling good, can we talk about his song Closer for a moment?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the vibe of that track is completely different from White, Black, or Latin. It's smooth, it's seductive, it's hot.
I was wondering, when we'd circle back to this, what is it about that particular song that speaks to you?
Everything. The beat is infectious, the lyrics are playful and suggestive, and the way he delivers those lines, forget about it. That voice, that swagger, he could read me a grocery list and I'd probably melt.
I think it's safe to say that Fidel Cashflow has made a fan out of you.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
But I'm genuinely curious, from a technical standpoint, what is it about his delivery in that song that makes it so alluring?
It's all about control and nuance. He knows exactly how to use his voice to create intimacy, to draw you in, to make you feel like he's speaking directly to you.
It's like he's whispering secrets in your ear.
Precisely. He's a master of vocal seduction. His delivery in Closer is slower, more deliberate. He lingers on certain words, lets his voice drop to a low murmur.
And those little breaths, those almost groans.
Okay, I get it. He's using his voice as an instrument of seduction, and it's incredibly effective.
Well, he's certainly struck a chord with me. I mean, what is it about a certain type of flow, a cadence, a delivery that makes certain artists so magnetic?
That's a great question, and one that's difficult to answer definitively. Is it something you can learn, or is it something you're just born with?
Right. Is it raw talent, or can you cultivate that kind of charisma and presence?
It's probably a combination of both Natural talent undoubtedly plays a role, but so do practice, dedication, and a deep understanding of your craft.
Because you have artists who can wrap circles around others, technically speaking, but they lack that certain something that makes you want to hit repeat.
Exactly. Fidel has that rare combination of skill, charisma, and authenticity that sets him apart. He's a natural storyteller, a master of cadence, and he has a voice that can melt butter.
Melted butter, that's one way to put it. But seriously, he has that undeniable it factor that makes you want to keep listening to delve deeper into his world.
He makes you feel something, and at the end of the day, isn't that what great music is all about?
Absolutely. It's about connecting with the artist on an emotional level, feeling seen and understood. And Fidel Cashflow, he gets that. Yeah. He gets us.
He does. Now let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the visual aspect of his artistry. We've touched on the music videos, but I think it's worth diving a little deeper into how the visuals complement and enhance his sound.
You know, you're right. We can't overlook the importance of the visual element. Yeah. After all, we live in a very visual world.
Exactly. And in Fidel's case, the visuals are not just an afterthought. They're an integral part of his artistic identity. Think about the music video for White Black or Latin Closer. You've got the luxurious mansion, the high fashion outfits, the beautiful women.
It's like stepping into a hip-hop fairy tale.
Right. It's aspirational, but it's also incredibly stylish and visually captivating. He's not just rapping about a certain lifestyle, he's embodying it.
And he wears it well. I've got to say, the man has style.
But I think the visuals serve another purpose, too. They amplify the emotions already present in his music.
That's interesting.
How so? Well, take the confidence and swagger in his delivery. When you pair that with visuals of him owning the room, commanding attention, it reinforces that image, takes it to another level.
It's like the visuals are a hype man for his voice. They work in tandem to create this larger-than-life persona.
Exactly. And let's not forget the power of storytelling. Those vivid scenes he paints with his lyrics, they come alive in his music videos. We're not just hearing about black chick with some black dudes sipping honey, black just got off a black cruise. We're seeing it, experiencing it right along with him.
It's like he's creating a world we can all step into, even if it's just for the length of a song or a music video. And speaking of creating worlds, I think that's a perfect note to wrap up on.
I agree.
Fidel Cashflow, with his unique blend of flow, cadence delivery, and visual storytelling. He invites us into his world, a world of confidence, luxury, and unapologetic self-expression. It's a world I wouldn't mind revisiting.
And that's the mark of a true artist, isn't it? The ability to transport us, to make us feel something deeper, something more.
Absolutely. So as we leave this sonic landscape, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought. Pay attention to the artists who move you, the ones who make you feel something, the ones whose voices linger in your mind long after the music stops. Because those artists, they have something special. They have that indescribable it factor that can't be taught or manufactured. It's a gift. And Fidel Cashflow, he's definitely got the gift.
He does. Until next time, keep those ears open and those minds curious.